Welcome to Football Guys Sunday Morning Live. I'm Joey Wright, joined today by Jagger May and Jeff Bell, as always. Guys, we've got a Germany game. I almost said London. We've got a Germany game. How are we feeling about the game this morning so far? Give me your most brutal thoughts.
Daniel Jones is over. The time of the Bryce Young is nigh. I think, just to be brief, all of us saying that, I know Bryce Young sucked and he was going to be bad as revisionist history. There is very little on tape for you to say that Bryce Young was a bad player. And this is also for the crowd that's like, if he was going to be good, he'd already been good. That is to assume that everyone has the same emotional makeup as every other player. And sometimes you need to sit back, reset, and get your mind right. And that's what we're seeing.
I love that. It's a good message.
Yeah, I talked about when he was benched of basically you've got Dave Canales, you're putting in a brand new offensive scheme, you're bringing in two brand new guards, your wide receiver room's unsettled, everything was moving around too fast at the beginning of the season. And when he was benched, what you were able to do, you were able to bring in Andy Dalton, a somewhat baseline, at least NFL backup, that could kind of quiet that quarterback position and allow the other players to learn their jobs and do their jobs. And now that you're putting Bryce Young back into that situation, you've got players that have been in the system for half a year or more, comfortable in their role, and now they're able to support Bryce Young in his development, his role. And it's kind of when like the Falcons drafted Michael Penix, it's a similar type thing where they've got Kirk Cousins and they're able to get up to a baseline NFL offensive level with Cousins. Then when you're going to put Penix in there in a year or two, it's going to be, everybody's going to be ready to run.
Coming into the season, I really liked Bryce Young. Like I was drafting him even, especially in super flex leagues. And I kind of had a little egg on my face to start the season. Like, oh, I guess I missed on that one. But I don't know. By the end of the year, he might end up as like a top 20 quarterback. You never know. So keep an eye on that. Guys, we'll be here with you today until about 11:30. Wait, 11:30? No, 12:30. We'll be here much longer than that. We'll be here until about 12:30. Got a great lineup of guests and co-hosts today. Jeff Bell, as always, rocking the first half hour for us. Dan Hendry's going to jump in at 11:30. Am I got my times right today? This time change thing messed me up big time. Dan will be in here at 11:30 to answer all the starts and sits. And then at noon, he'll hop over to the Discord and run the Sunday morning AMA till right about kickoff. And then to close out the show, we'll have Adam Hutchinson in here to break down some of these very brutal and sad injuries. It's not even on the sheet because we got a little late, but I just want to, right off the top, guys, I want to talk about Trevor Lawrence. Looks like his season might be over. Jeff, what are you doing with this Jaguars offense? We got Brian Thomas Jr. there. It looks like Christian Kirk, I think he's shut down for the year as well. What's going on there in Jacksonville? Can we trust any of these players?
I don't know that you can trust any of them, especially in this matchup against Minnesota. It can bring that complex blitzing defense. But I think your hope is you see early career, rookie year, Mac Jones, and he's able to support an Evan Ingram and Brian Thomas, ideally, at least those two. And if we can get Brian Thomas and Evan Ingram somewhat out of this, you'll take that as a win. But I think it's the old backup quarterback mantra of at least be able to support my players, much less I don't count on you actually being into my lineup.
Jagger, would you be, Brian Thomas Jr. was the unofficial official player of the show this year. If he struggles the next couple of weeks, are you going out and buying him for Dynasty especially?
I'm buying him now if I can, and I'm not going to stop. And to be honest, that's why I say buy him now. Everything I said about Bryce Young, you might be able to say about Mac Jones.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I don't. Doug Peterson isn't like the greatest offensive mind as we were fooled into believing for one Super Bowl, but I do think that Mac Jones isn't as bad as he was towards his tail end of the Patriots.
Okay. All right, great. Actually, I wanted to hit that off top. Also out today, Keon Coleman for the Buffalo Bills. Michelle Pittman Jr. is going to be out. Mike Pittman won't be playing either. We'll talk to Dylan about that one. Nah. Love you, Dylan. Brian Robinson Jr. out for the Commanders. Chris Olave dealing with concussion. And then Dak Prescott also looks like he's going to be having season-ending surgery. I'm going to go to myself on this one. I kind of looked at the numbers with CeeDee Lamb with Cooper Rush the last few years, and they're not awful. There's like a 7-game sample size we have over the last 2 years where he would be around 16 and a half fantasy points per game, which would be about the wide receiver 11. So not like that top 5 wide receiver, but CeeDee Lamb, he's not benchable at this point. I mean, you could still roll him out there as a low line wide receiver 1. So don't lose hope if you got CeeDee Lamb. Cooper Rush can get him the ball. All right. Let's see. I don't normally go to myself, but I actually did some football homework this week, guys. So
I appreciate it, Joey. You should go to
No
yourself
worries.
often. Call your own number, as an announcer would say.
I saw Collinsworth doing it. I was like, I should do it too. So questionable today: Amari Cooper, Drake London, Brian Thomas Jr., Nico Collins, and Tyreek Hill are the big questionable ones there, because we are not going to find out about that probably until later today. Jagger, if you've got Nico and Tyreek Hill, what are you hoping for? What are your plans with those two guys?
Nico, I'm in a kerfuffle with Nico Collins as well, and let's put it this way: I have Demario Douglas, and I benched Demario Douglas to put in Nico Collins, because if he's playing, I would just rather have Nico Collins than like Demario Douglas is like 4 catches for 30 yards or something. But if you have a better pivot or someone else who's playing in that game, which I do not, then you'll be fine. As far as Tyreek Hill, I'm worried about Tyreek Hill beyond just his health, I guess. At this point, I'm like, I think he's starting to get some cooked allegations. So,
you threw me off where I was going. My provisional plan's been Demarcus Robinson. I think he's out there in enough leagues right now. Or if you have him out there and you've got an extra bench spot, you need to back up one of these players, go grab Demarcus Robinson. He might not get you, 30 points, but if one of these guys does end up sitting, he can get you, 10, 15 points. So hopefully that does happen for you.
I think 2 other names to keep an eye on in Miami maybe would be Jonnu Smith if he's available, or
100%.
Jalen Wright. There was a little bit of a story from Mike McDaniel kind of mentioning ball security with Raheem Mostert, and there might be a chance that role flips to Jalen Wright instead.
We love the Jay Wrights here at Football Guys Sunday Morning Live, so let's hope that happens. Expected to play today. Welcome back, Christian McCaffrey. We are so happy to see you. Now let's get all those people that drafted you number 1 to at least into the playoffs. So glad to see him back today. It does seem like the last report we saw, he's going to have a full workload. So if you got him, start him. Tank Dell also expected to play today. Baker Mayfield, CeeDee Lamb, and Deebo Samuel also expected to play today. And then we covered Trevor and Lawrence. Well, guys, we've got a lot of people in the comments here waiting for us to call their names. So let's call some names.
And
Herms. Go ahead.
You only need to put your question in once. We go in order. There's no pay to play scheme. There's no conspiracy theory. Do not spam the chat, or I will be bad cop. So go ahead, Joey. You're a good cop. So
I mean, you can if you guys want to pay me, I will put your questions up quicker. Maybe I shouldn't have said that on the show.
Don't say that at all. It's like, don't do that, Joey.
No, we don't take money here to put questions up quicker. What's going on at halftime of the Germany game? There's like a stage with glowing, and it's crazy. I don't know.
Oh, our best export is Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh God, that's not Machine Gun Kelly, is it? Guys, if you have Machine Gun Kelly in your lineups today, sit him.
They go all out in Germany, though. Germany's a fun one. Those fans really get into it.
Before I get to the question, did you see Hockley call the penalty in German?
I did.
Yeah.
Highlight of the season, maybe not the season, but highlight of the day so far for me. All right, Herm's in here. Morning, fellas. What a beautiful shirt. Love that shirt, Herms. I think he might have stole it from me. QB shouldn't be tackling anyone. I can't agree with that more. What's up, fellas? It's Dustin. Hey, Dustin. Realistically, what is Chuba Hubbard's dynasty value moving forward? That's a great question. Jonathan Brooks is actually out today. He was activated. Sounded like he was going to start, but he is out as well today. So Jonathan Brooks is out. Jeff, what's Chuba Hubbard's dynasty value?
I mean, it's going to be a touchdown dependent player that can get you, I think 50 to 60 scrimmage yards a game, maybe a catch or two, but I would expect the passing work to shift towards Jonathan Brooks. But it's really kind of like dollar store David Montgomery. And I don't know if I want dollar store David Montgomery in a Carolina Panthers offense. But at the same time, it's going to be flex start worthy. I think in your 10-team leagues, he's going to be an occasional running back 2 for you, but I don't expect him to be completely benched, especially given that money. But I think you're asking for David Montgomery in the Carolina Panthers offense.
You know what's annoying is when they call it a dollar store and things in there are more than $1. I don't like that.
To be fair, it's a Dollar General and then Dollar Tree, then Family Dollar. Like if you're from the South or Midwest, it's very distinctive, and
you got to know the code.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
I'm a DG guy.
We have like literal, hey, the dollar store, and you walk in, it's like $5. I'm like, no, it's not happening.
It's literally called a dollar store.
It's called the dollar store. The dollar store.
Well, that's false advertising.
5 and below is what we have, and everything's 5.
We love 5 and below. Get your Christmas wrapping paper or your Hanukkah wrapping paper at 5 and below, because it just gets ripped up and thrown away. So it's
not a sponsor. Could be a sponsor.
Mm-hmm. All right. William Taylor sounds like a lineman for like the Bears in '86. Good morning. Pick one running back and one wide receiver: Montgomery, Eckler, Dell, Brian Thomas Jr., and Waddle. So let's get that running back out of the way. So between Montgomery and Eckler, with Brian Thomas Jr. out, Jagger, who would you start between those two guys?
Not even a question, Monty.
Okay. Yep. And he's a kind of an automatic start for us on the show. And then one wide receiver, Jeff, will go to you. Tank Dell, Brian Thomas Jr., or Jalen Waddle.
I want to start Waddle without Tyreek Hill, but of course timing makes that the hardest thing to do. And so that's probably where I'll play it out till hopefully you have a late start window. And if we hear about Nico Collins being out, then Tank Dell's definitely a start. If we hear more about Tyreek Hill, maybe, then you could lean that direction. But I think Waddle, we just been disappointing, but might be safe enough. You can just wait and start him.
Perfect. David in here. Oh, David, look at David. That's a nice picture. Stroud or Tua? Jagger, Stroud or Tua?
Stroud right now. They're the same right now. Actually, if you really think about disappointments, I think I lean Stroud there.
And then would you start McConkey over Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yes. Especially in full PPR.
Perfect. Robert in here. Good morning, Robert. Welcome back. Half point PPR. Need a quarterback. Stafford or Goff? Jeff, which one?
It's going to be, I think, Stafford for me. It's going to be Stafford for me. I think passing yardage, we just see Goff flirting with 200 yards way too often. That's the way they want to play. I think the Texans are struggling a little bit.
Yeah, since Puka's been back, it's been fun.
Citron Physics in here sleeping on the job. Usually they're the first ones in here. Not today. Good morning, everyone. Start 2. Hill, Puka, Kittle, or Mooney? Jeff, pick 2 of those guys.
It's Puka and Kittle rather easily for me, I think, right now.
Yeah. I question who your other tight end is, because there's very I think
some
Kittle's
progressive leagues do not require a tight end, Jack. Just saying.
Oh well, not up in here, partner.
Puka Kittle sounds like the name of like a Batman villain, like their real name, like Harvey Dent. Like Puka Kittle. Yeah. And then Caleb or Stafford, Jagger?
Stafford. So I'm pretty high on Stafford.
Yeah. Caleb's got a tough schedule the last few weeks. He's coming into some better games, though. Eric, good morning. Happy Sunday. Mostert, Bigsby, or Akers? Jeff, you were kind of talking down on Mostert a little bit. Are you starting Bigsby or Akers over him?
No, I'm still going Mostert. I want to be wrong, and I think we would all love to see Jalen Wright step in there, but Akers is just a handcuff, and Bigsby, they're going to just give it to Dearness Johnson or some silly stuff. I don't even know what they're going to do.
Never Akers, guys. You should have blinders on to Akers. Will he have a game? Yes, but it won't be the time that you have him. So
yeah, and last week he got some, this is where the trouble in maybe looking at a box score, but he got some later work and he was pretty efficient with it. But the Colts were down by like 3 scores by the time he was really involved at all.
Yeah, he went to Florida State, and Florida State's already had a bad weekend, so I just can see it continuing on.
I needed just 12.5 points from Florida State. They got 3, so.
I'm sorry for you, but very happy for me and my ongoing hatred of that team that plays in Tallahassee. Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my question. Dave, you're very welcome for us taking it. 6 points.
Dave.
This is a new Dave. Oh, Dave's got a new burner. 6 points, touchdowns, Kyler or Herbert. Both these guys are kind of low in my rankings this week. Jagger, who's the guy to start here?
I would lean Kyler just because of that rushing upside. We've seen all he needs is that one play where he's already pointing towards the end zone, and that can make your week. Herbert is good enough, and he's had some good games. It's just hard to really rely on high volume.
All right, David again with a tight end question for us. Cade Otton, Jake Ferguson, or T.J. Hawkinson? It's full PPR, Jeff.
Oh, you're definitely playing Cade Otton. The way he's rolling, I mean, consider Cade Otton a top 5 or more tight end right now.
Yeah, he's good at football. All right, Adam in here. Adam Hutchinson. Good.
I am wearing glasses. I was going to say, keep in mind that Otton is against the Terminator today, Fred Warner. So,
Dane, welcome as always. PPR flex, Odunze or Tyreek Hill? I love this question because
or Taysom Hill.
Let's answer them all.
Probably Odunze, but like Odunze either way. But Tyreek Hill, or excuse me, Taysom Hill. I'm trying to get in my lineup somehow. It's just Taysom Hill's team now, y'all. There's no one else there.
I did the tight end podcast this week with Alfredo and Dave, and we had our rest of season rankings for tight ends. And Dave was the last one to get his in. He doesn't mind me saying this. He had because he wanted to prove a point for an entire day. He put Taysom Hill as tight end 1, and then he moved him down. But for the whole day, it was like he didn't fill his stuff out. It was just Taysom Hill, tight end 1. It was very funny. Yak up. Good morning, Starshines. Oh, good morning to you, Starshine. Do I want for Tyreek on Monday, or start Xavier Worthy or Noah Brown? So Worthy, Brown, or Tyreek? Jagger.
I would want for Tyreek in this scenario.
Mm-hmm. All right. We appreciate you, football guys. Good morning to all. Andrew, I love the message of positivity this morning. Love to see that. Big Mike in here, and I learned that it's Big Mike and not Big Mick. Happy Sunday, full PPR. Who do you got? Tank Dell or Quentin Johnston? Jeff.
It's Tank Dell here. We started to see Tank Dell emerge last week. I mean, you're playing him. I'm the world's foremost Quentin Johnston, still actually cheering for him fan, but it's still Tank Dell.
I think that might be our one of the bridges of our friendship is our love of Quentin Johnston. Yeah. And it's Johnston. I learned that on an episode of a fantasy football game show where I answered the question Quentin Johnson and got it wrong. It was very embarrassing. Hi, guys. Hey, Bruce. What's going on? 2 lineup questions for standard. Pick 2 between London, Odunze, and McConkey. Jagger, pick 2 of those guys.
The first 2, but come back with Adam because I don't know how serious a hit pointer is. If it's like a problem, then you're going to bench London then.
And then Jeff, Kincaid or Hawkinson.
It's still Kincaid for me. 10 targets last week. I mean, you're starting to see the underlying usage up there. The Colts have struggled against the tight end. We're due for Kincaid.
Kyle in here. Good morning, football guys family. Good morning to you, Kyle. Speaking of the devil, he shall appear. I dropped Xavier Worthy in a shallow redraft league for Cam Akers this morning. Win or loss?
I don't think anybody won.
No, Dave.
Dave has just got some hurt feelings about Hollywood Brown that pour over into Xavier Worthy.
Is that what it is?
Oh, Tyrone Tracy taking it almost to the house. Yeah, to the house. Touchdown, Tyrone Tracy. He has been found in Germany, everyone. Went to Oktoberfest. It was a little late, but he's gotten in the end zone. So good job. All right, Alan Moore, our favorite watchman, happiest of football Sundays. ETN or Algier in the flex? Jagger, which one of those backup running backs are you starting?
Stop. Man, you ruined my joke because this was better. I was gonna say which one is a starter. But you're gonna play ETN. I think that Jeff, you're giving the face. Let's hear it then. What do you think? Because to me, I think it's just gonna be a running back show. Do you trust Algier that much that you'd want to give up ETN?
I mean, trust ETN that much, and I do see the Saints matchup here for the Falcons. I think the Falcons get a little bit healthy on the Saints, and we've seen in the past. I mean, Tyler Algier has a 90 to 100 yard 1 or 2 touchdown upside in those types of situations.
Yeah, that is a beautiful dog, Alan. Just pretty dog. Is that an Australian Shepherd? Yeah, probably. All right, Gary in here might be that word down to one viable quarterback in Superflex. Not always a bad situation. Let's see how the rest of the question goes. And I have to put Tyreek in my Superflex spot. Do I dare leave him there or put in slop like Bigsby, Rohan, or Justin Fields? Slop got me. Not gonna lie.
I like you, Gary. Come back.
Yeah, please, Gary. Please enjoy the personality in the question. All right, so are we putting slop in like Roshan, Bigsby, or Fields, or are we leaving in Tyreek?
I mean, depends.
This is an upside floor. Yeah.
You're playing your matchup, and what do you need against your matchup? Do you need this potential ceiling of Tyreek Hill, or do you need hoping for 10 points out of Tank Bigsby or even Roshan?
Yeah. All right. Julie has a doozy of a question. Good morning. Flex play Darnell Mooney, Josh Downs, or Cade Otton. I understand why all three are not in your lineup because they were not, drafted very highly, but those are three really great options today. Jeff,
you nailed it, Julie.
First world problems. Yes.
Yeah.
If it's full PPR, probably Downs. If it's not, I might be a little bit more risky and go with Mooney if I'm swinging for upside.
Yeah, that's like that. I think that's the perfect answer. It's like a 3-pronged one. Full PPR Downs, half PPR less. Mooney is the ceiling play, or Otton is the floor play. I said Cotton.
You just that has to be his nickname, right?
I mean, Downs could get like 12 to 15 targets today with Pittman out of the lineup. That's very much in play, but Mooney could drop 102 touchdowns on the Saints.
Really, it's Joe Flacco, because Joe Flacco is like back to looking like a 40-year-old who shouldn't be a starter. That's
all in the bullpen.
You found that fountain of youth. All right. Alan Moore with another question. Yes, our favorite comic book writer. Need one it's the only graphic novel I own, actually. Just being transparent there. Need one. I'm sorry. Actually, I own all the Old Boy ones too.
Oh, okay. That's
the
pretty
manga,
cool,
Old
actually.
Boy mangas. Yeah. Need one tight end and one flex. Otton, Laporta, and Debo Samuel. Okay, so I think we're at the point we're starting Cade Otton over Sam Laporta.
Yes,
comfortably.
Hurts my heart, but makes my heart happy. I'm in both boats. And then is it Debo or Laporta?
It's still Debo. Yeah.
Against that.
Sorry, Sam Laporta.
Love you, Joey, but against that Buccaneers pass defense.
That buttery defense, 50.5 expected points today. Love it.
Oh, man.
Bucks games are the best games this year. That's one thing I will say. They're the best games. Like, their defense sucks, but like Baker's doing it. So like, I know it's going to be a competitive game. Bucks are a must start fantasy team. I think
it's kind of like the Jameis Winston days all over again, but we're winning some of the games.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. All right, Matthew in here. Oh, I love that hat. I should show you my old profile picture, Matthew. Back in those days when I used to be funny. Good morning, guys. Steeler fan here. Oh, go Steelers. Pickens over Dobbins or AJ Brown? Jeff.
No. Give me Dobbins. Give me AJ Brown. Commanders' pass defense has been really strong the last month or more, and I'm definitely playing AJ Brown against that Dallas matchup. And J.K. Dobbins, we started to see him click a little bit again now that they're not putting 18 players in the box against the run against the Chargers.
All right. Rachel's in here. Rachel, I was telling a story about you before the show. Good morning. Deep one, Westbrook Akine or Tyler Johnson? And then we'll get to the third question there for you. Rachel,
it's Westbrook
Jagger.
He's I stole it. It's Westbrook Akine.
No,
he's playing
right.
every snap for the Titans. He's got touchdowns in 4 straight games. Tyler Johnson is back up to Puka Nacua, who got to play last week because Puka Nacua got to go home early.
Perfect. And then we'll go down the line with our favorite Thanksgiving side dish, Jagger.
It's sweet potatoes with marshmallow.
Stuffing. I'm a stuffing guy, or dressing, whatever. I don't care. I just want breadcrumbs that have been toasted in turkey juice. So I don't care how you've done it. So
I don't know if this counts. I think it should, because they're at every one of my Thanksgiving meals. Chuba Hubbard is running wild right now. It's
Let's see it.
Chuba Hubbard's my favorite side dish. It's deviled eggs. I hold my
That's
family
okay.
record, 23 halves, and that was a fun car ride home.
What happened to your body after that happened, Joey?
Oh, I was farting for honestly the entire Thanksgiving weekend. It was just a fog.
Devastating.
It was that.
Did you
I brought to Thanksgiving that year. She did not make it across the line.
Milk Gallon challenge.
Yeah, where people were killing themselves, being stupid as heck. Almost
we did that in college, but not with pudding works too. So just
what
did that college? That was bad.
Jeff, how are you alive, dude?
I've lived some life.
Jeff Bell's collegiate stories are that's a fun chapter. All right, Michael in here. Welcome, Michael. Happy Sunday, football guys. Hey, happy Sunday to you. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do by being here. Trying to decide between the Tyrees. So okay. Mm-hmm. Happy Sunday, Jagger, Jeff, and Joey. That's all three of us.
Michael's awesome. He's my Pros with Joe's partner. He's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Oh, look who's in here early today. Scampers with the breaking news of Daniel Jones not being good. To clarify my earlier question, it was Dunze or Taysom. Thank you for clarifying, Dane.
Yeah. I forgot the rest of the answer, but so Dunze, I still think.
Yeah, and Trev, we're a lot of us are in this position if we drafted Tyreek Hill. It's a late game time decision. Early in the show, Jeff gave you a couple options. I gave you an option there. So there's definitely some players out there in the waiver wire that you can grab and just kind of hold on to just to see what happens. I wish you luck. Jalen McMillan or Courtland Sutton, Jagger?
Which one of these guys is like a starter full time? And I think I'm going to go with Sutton. I get the idea with McMillan, but that pecking order went from Mike Evans or Godwin to Mike Evans to Otten. It skipped right over McMillan, I feel like. So
yeah, and McMillan's not really been on the field, so
yeah.
We talked about Sutton on our Dynasty show this week with Jagger, and Sutton's over 100 yards in back-to-back games. He's been wide receiver 7 over the last 3 weeks. I mean, it's starting to click there. So.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get enough. He's like the Rodney Dangerfield of wide receivers. He doesn't get any response.
He had a slow start, and then he had posted that 0 on an island game on Thursday night when everybody's watching, and that kind of just sets everything in stone for him. But he's, I think, a second half player.
You always wonder what Sutton's career would be like if he wasn't drafted to the Broncos. He'd probably be a much better player than what the stats might say.
Joey, I've taken you look at this morning, and
I've got. All right, Ryan Pfeiffer. Good morning, gents. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. Need advice on quarterback for today, Jared Goff or Russell Wilson? We've gotten no Russell Wilson questions yet today. Jagger, who are we starting?
Probably Jared Goff. I have Jared Goff comfortably ahead.
And Annie, it's going to be Josh Downs between him and Taysom Hill. Josh Downs has a really good opportunity today with Michael Pittman being out and Joe Flacco slinging that ball. All right. And Ryan also needs to start 2 of 3 in PPR. So Mooney, Hunt, or Connor. So pick between those 3, Jeff.
I like Hunt and Connor here. I mean, they're both serving as bell cows. In most situations, I'm taking a bell cow over. Despite liking Mooney, despite liking the matchup, I still take the bell cow running back.
Did you see the Bryce Young run? There's 20, that's almost my
20 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, do
guys,
more of that.
I think we'll be hitting waiver wires this week for Bryce Young. He looks like he's an option. I know it's the Giants, but Giants.
We weren't wrong. We were just a year and a half early.
Yeah. He's a little guy, though. Little legs moving so quick. All right. Thanks for all you do. Try and decide between Cooper, Ridley, or Irving for early starts. Or start Hill or Jonnu tomorrow night. So it looks like he's got Tyreek Hill or Jonnu that he could start tomorrow. So if you've got Jonnu to back up Tyreek Hill, I'm speaking for the board here, but I would just roll with that. I mean, you've got the start there.
Yes.
And as much as I love Bucky Irving, it's in the Cooper's questionable. Yeah. Just roll with your Dolphin tomorrow night, whichever one's out there.
Well,
which
Cooper
one guys?
Wide receiver.
Yeah, it's and also what is it? Cooper Kupp. I love you guys.
I know it's driving.
Used all last names, so I'm gonna assume, Murray.
Okay.
Yeah, he's needs one flex, one wide receiver. You're kind of stuck, I think, with Ridley. I mean, I think Irving is a little bit more. I'm worried about that Chargers matchup. They've been very good, but I think you're stuck with Ridley, and then you're stuck waiting to see what happens with the Dolphins in your flex.
Jeff Bolt. That's another superhero name. Jeff Bolt. Hey, good morning, guys. Tough choice. Coker or kidding. Just kidding. Oh,
Thank
you. Telling jokes. That's Jeff's shop. Matt Waller in here. What up, fellas? What up with you, Matt? We got some winning to do today in a 10.1 PPR league. Debo or Tank? We'll say Tank Dell.
Debo.
This Debo for me, yeah. Yeah, if you got winning to do, you definitely want to put Debo over anyone named Tank after this year. And I'm a big Tank guy, but both Dell and Bigsby, but big points expected out of the 49ers.
Touchdown Bryce Young to David Moore. This is my father-in-law's name, but that's not my father-in-law last time I checked. But
former Buccaneer.
Former Buccaneer, former Seahawk. What other teams did he play for?
I know he's the most accidental drafted player out there because everyone's like, oh, DJ Moore's still there.
Jeff, we've been having such a good time here today that I lost track of it. And then the bloop bloop from Dan let me know that it's your time to get out of here. So, Jeff, leave the people with the words you always do, but anything you'd like to say before that?
Thank you all for the audience. Thank you, both of you. It's fantastic to work with you guys every single week and just be able to talk with you. But clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Go out, win the game. Will not push the red button. Have a great day, guys.
All right. That brings us to the exciting part of the show, bringing on another guest host. Oh, did you have it on there, Jagger? We're doing that thing again. And what is up, buddy? How we doing today?
Morning, guys. Good. Middle of birthday week for my kids, so we're gonna spend some time at a trampoline park this afternoon. Got that in my future. Gonna try to find the softest chair I can. Watch some NFL games at the trampoline park.
Fantastic.
Are you gonna get on the trampoline? Are you gonna
Probably not. That probably wouldn't be good for my ACL. But just probably hang out, watch football while the kids run around for 3-4 hours. Good times.
Did you guys know that before 1982 they were called Jumpalines, but then I was born? Thank you, Dave, for that. He told me that joke earlier this week. So, Dave, you're watching. There you go. I actually listen to what you say sometimes. Not about football, though, but other stuff I listen to. So, Dan, I saw a joke and I had to take it. So, everything that's going good?
Yeah. Just getting my last minute kind of lineup changes in, trying to figure out some of these injuries last minute.
All right. Well, do you want to answer some questions for the people today?
Yeah, let's do it.
They're all here waiting for you. Luca, good morning, guys. Hopkins, Jennings, or Shakir? We'll go to you, Dan.
This is a tough one. So I think Hopkins has the most upside just because, Shakir doesn't score many touchdowns. Shakir's probably the safest choice. So it'd be between those two for me. PPR, I guess, I think Shakir's the safest, highest floor guy of the three.
Yeah, I was going to say PPR Shakir, but if you need points or not, then Hopkins.
All right. Our favorite chat cat is telling us how to pronounce Jaguars.
Okay.
Jaguar.
Well, we're also not in the UK. We're not in the UK. Get out of here with that.
Scampers. Get
Jaguar.
Where's the
American?
Spray scampers. Good morning, fellas. So half PPR need a tight end and a flex. Pitts, Ferguson, Taysom, Warren, and Cooper to pick from. So let's get rid of that. Let's take care of that tight end first, Jagger. Pitts, Ferguson, or Taysom? Where are you going there at tight end?
I'm probably taking Pitts here, especially with the Dak injury. Ferguson is a floor play till we see what happens, I guess. I think we already know what Cooper Rush is. So yeah.
Perfect. And then that David Moore touchdown was called back, just to put that out there. And then Dan, between Warren, did you answer the flex question there, Jagger? Sorry.
No, I cut myself off mid-sentence and trailed off so Dan can answer. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Warren, I'm probably doubling up at tight end here. I love Taysom this week just because.
Thank you.
I just double checked. Jamal Williams is out, so he's basically the running back too, and he's going to get 4 or 5 targets. So in half PPR, I mean, I think he has the most touchdown upside, maybe of this entire group. I'm not sure what to do with Amari Cooper on the wrist injury, so I'm probably avoiding that. I think he probably has the most upside, but it's just hard to tell what's going on with that. I think he had kind of the same practice schedule this week as he did last week, and then last week he didn't end up playing. So it does sound like he's going to play this week, but I just don't know what to expect from him. It does feel like a decent week for Jaylen Warren. So for me, it's probably Taysom and Jaylen Warren.
Okay. Over Pitts?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Pitts had one target last week. I love Pitts, and he,
that was
can always
just
give
last
you those...
week, though. That was like, I mean, you can't all right, well, you're back to the shadow realm after 4 good weeks because one game. I mean, I just think that's
yeah, it's close. I guess between Pitts and Warren, it's close for me. So I don't trust Cooper just because of the wrist, and Ferguson I don't really trust because of the quarterback. So I think you're going 2 out of 3 of Pitts, Taysom, Jaylen Warren. I was actually really surprised. Jaylen Warren's player props this week are surprisingly high. He's at 60 total yards, which kind of surprised me because he hasn't been doing much. And him and Najee Harris's player props this week are pretty close. They're only about 12, 15 yards apart. So I don't know if they know something and he's getting healthier with that hamstring. But in half PPR, I am kind of intrigued by Warren this week.
Perfect. So is that total yards? 60?
I think he was 56 and a half or something total yards, and Najee was at 72.
And knowing his profile, that's going to be it's going to be 3 catches, maybe. That's not bad for PPR. Okay. I didn't know that. That's good info, Dan.
Good job, Dan. That's why we have him here. He's got good info.
There you go.
Speaking of people I don't trust, JB's grandma. Happy Veterans Day and happy birthday, Marines, my sweeties. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. I just don't see it. Steve, good morning to you all. Can't believe it's come to this, but Daniels versus Pitt or Rodgers versus Arizona. I don't think that's a bad thing. Jaden Daniels versus Pitt. I mean, that Pitt's tough, but Jagger.
I'm always putting Daniels over. I'm going to put a rushing quarterback in almost any scenario over a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers and the Jets at this point. I know that Daniel's floor is just so much safer because all it takes is that one play to save his week, whereas we know what Aaron Rodgers could be, which is not good.
All right. And then Dan, Pearsall or McMillan, or would you wait on Tyreek Hill on Monday?
I'd probably take a chance and wait on Tyreek and then just figure out something. I mean, there's got to be somebody on waivers. I do think that's one of those where you do have to kind of manage your lineup a little bit and make sure that you have a spot available if you need to pick up whoever, some sort of backup for the Rams or, Jordan Whittington or whoever is available so that you have somebody available. But I think Tyreek Hill's upside is too much to take a chance on a guy who projects for 30 yards, which is probably where we have Pearsall and McMillan.
Uh-oh. Is Joey frozen?
Did we lose Joey or is it me?
I think it might be Joey. While Joey's internet catches up. See, I always hate this because now I don't know where he's at. Okay. Hi, guys. Full PPR. Need 1 running back, 1 flex, Mostert, ETN, Roshan Johnson, Ray Davis, or Ladd McConkey. So for the running back, I'm probably going to put Mostert in. I know Jeff said that they're worried about ball security issues, but I'm not. I need to see it mode with Jalen Wright. I don't know about you, Dan.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. I mean, McConkey's an easy answer there.
That's an easy one. Yeah,
that's the flex. Yeah. But yeah, those running backs, I don't love any of them. But yeah, I guess Mostert just because it's the best game environment of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess 4.
Yeah. That's why I was like the McConkey one. Let's just pencil that one in for the flex. That's not even a question. Ray Davis is. I can't catch that lightning in the bottle, if that makes sense. When I need Ray Davis to pop him in my flex, I'm like, cool, 2 points. Thanks, my guy. And then the next week he's on my bench popping off for 40 points. And it's just really, those are the frustrating players where it's better in best ball,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Just draft him in best ball. And then when you see him scampering for some 70-yard catch, you're like, oh, nice.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you see him Ty Johnson scoring, he's in your lineup, you're like, oh. Well, could that not be Ray Davis? You kind of look and try to figure out which Bills running back it is each time.
Yeah, it's James Cook, and then what other guy might accidentally get something?
It might ruin your day.
Now for full PPR, start to Jawan, Shakir, McConkey. For full PPR, I'm taking the last two. I don't know about you.
Yeah, same. That one I think's also pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
And I don't know if that's Jawan Johnson or Jawan
I'm assuming
Jennings.
Jawan Jennings probably, which,
Yeah.
like Tom Brady was kind of talking him up this week. So I don't hate Jawan Jennings, but I think just Shakir and McConkey are top 15 guys for me this week. So I think they're
Almost,
both great options.
for Dynasty, almost all my Dynasty rosters, I'm putting Jawan in because like those are like 4 flex, super
Yeah,
flex
where it's deep.
rosters. So yeah, so like I'm like excitedly putting him in those teams. So like unless
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
deep, or you probably aren't in a hurry to put that in. Terminal sarcasm. Welcome back. Good day, gents, and maybe lady. Thank you for getting ahead of that. No lady this week. Down plenty of points in PPR league. I'm guessing you went up against someone from the Thursday night game. Need a big swing. Caleb, Mahomes, or May. I don't know if Caleb's a big swing or not. The Pats are ungood, but sometimes they are good because they have a good cornerback. I'll let you start with this one, Dan.
Yeah, I'm taking Mahomes. I do think May has some upside because of his rushing, but like
Yeah.
that game total is 38. It looks like it's gonna be rainy and windy in Chicago. So it's just hard to see like Caleb or May. I mean, that's going to be one of those like 17 to 14 type games, most likely. So I don't know where you're getting a huge game. Again, maybe May with the rushing upside, but I actually really like Mahomes this week. He's been playing really well. I think take a step back. I know he's had kind of a down year, but I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. I think that's your guy.
Yeah. And when I tell people like fantasy and NFL are different outlook when it comes to QBs. Like Mahomes is playing perfectly fine, but for fantasy, it's not the stuff that's going to score points because he's trying to win ball games. But in this case, especially what we've seen from Hopkins, and I'm willing to eat poo poo on Hopkins. I think that's probably your upside. May's probably the floor play, to be honest, because of that rushing, and Caleb is the dookie play. And just because I said that, Caleb's going to go off. What's up, Geek? Hello and good morning, guys. Need some help in my home league today. Well, that means matter. You got pride on the line, my boy. Baker, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, and Russell Wilson. You almost kind of ranked them for me. I need to see who I have ahead of Baker or Bo Nix. I just think the 49ers game is going to be a shootout. Do you like Baker ahead even with Bo Nix's rushing floor?
Yeah, I like you said, I think those are my top two. I'd go Baker because he has a little bit of a rushing upside too. I was looking, Bo Nix, I think his rushing total this week's like 24.5, which I like the over on, but it's not one of those numbers where you're like, oh, this is for sure a 40, 50-yard guy. But yeah, those would be my top two out of those four.
Sorry about that, guys.
Welcome back.
I had a power surge. So
now we're on Jack. And got it marked there for you. Take it away, Joey.
So hey guys, PPR. Am I crazy to consider starting Jalen Warren at running back instead of Javonte Williams going against the Chiefs defense? Thoughts on Andre Estime taking over?
Dan's info makes me want to go Jalen Warren if it's PP. Yeah, it is PPR. So
that one's close. It's definitely like it's not crazy, but I think I still probably would lean Javonte Williams. He's just more likely to get his 16, 17 touches that he normally gets, where with Warren, you're probably only looking at 10 or 11 touches. So I'd probably take the handful of extra touches there, but I don't think it's crazy at all.
All right, Michael in here. And I'm guessing that's Scott Fishbowl. Need a super flex and flex from Mac Jones. Got his new toy. Ray McLeod. He's very steady. Tipton, intrigued as a wide receiver one, or Rashad White, steady volume. Thanks. And I appreciate the context behind each of those players. Dan, where are we at?
So I'm embarrassed to ask this. Is Mason Tipton also still doing the kick returns with Rashid Shaheed out? Because with Scott Fishbowl, I mean, that's always the first thing you have to check because those yards are so huge. I actually think regardless Well, I guess Mac Jones, that is tough. I think Mac Jones is probably the safest play. And then I want to kind of look up to see whether Mason Tipton is doing returns, because if he is, then I think he's a great play. Just because there's nobody else for there's just like it's Taysom Hill, it's Alvin Kamara, it's Mason Tipton, and who else is Derek Carr going to throw to? Like Cedric Wilson's out, Bub Means is out, like even the backup guys are out.
And it looks like Joey is out again.
His face always freezes in the best.
It's so.
Like,
I gotta boot him because I can't do him that dirty. I can't do him like that.
Every time it freezes,
yeah, it's like the worst possible scenario. Like, unless he was like eating like a hot dog or something weird, I totally think that would be like worse. We apologize, guys. Florida is dealing with internet problems. Like, it's funny, at any show I do, all my co-hosts at some point are in Florida, and it is like the internet there is very third world right now. Bear with me. I've got Tank Dell, Drake London, and Debo Samuel. If one of them doesn't play, should I sub in Hopkins or DJ Moore? I mean, for sure, dude. If one of them doesn't play, like, you got to. The question is whom, and I think I'm going to lean Hopkins. Yeah, here.
Yeah, I'm the same there. I really like Hopkins this week, and that Chicago game. I hate the weather, and I think that DJ Moore is probably going to get a lot of Christian Gonzalez in coverage, who is by far New England's best corner. So yeah, I'd have Hopkins on tap there if any of those three are out.
As a New England fan, Christian Gonzalez is our second best player. So
yeah, he's tough.
It's not even a question at this point. Full PPR, Bigsby, Bucky, or Warren. Do you like Bigsby here with Mac Jones? And this is a little bit, we don't have any data to kind of back any of this up because we've never seen what this offense looks like. But do you like Bigsby more with Trevor Lawrence out? Do you think they're going to rely more on the running game, or would you still just kind of go what we know? Bucky's going to get the ugly, dirty work. Warren could be something and has higher upside in PPR.
I think it's Bucky for me, just because I think they're going to be playing from behind. He's been getting more work in the passing game. And, I don't think the Jaguars offense changes a whole lot, but I just think that Travis Etienne and Bigsby are going to be in like a 50-50 split. It's just not a great spot for them either. So I would lean Bucky there. How about you?
I think Bucky's my floor play, I think, for this game here. And then Warren is a ceiling play. So with running backs, I'm almost always going to go with a floor unless it is like, let's put it this way. If Warren has another week, kind of like he did, like if the usage stays the same and this offense stays the same, then I'd probably lean a different way. But we just haven't seen Warren all year, and trust me, it's killing me. My best ball teams are in the dookie because he hasn't been out there. So, frustrating, but it's the way she goes. The Tommy Llama, I love the swag, homie. You look like you sell jewelry in New Mexico. If Tyreek doesn't play, should I pivot to Beckham? Probably not. I would want almost anyone else. So if that's your only option, then obviously you have to, but give us some more and then we'll hopefully get to it. I'm going to speed through some more so we can get closer to the bottom because you guys are a little bit more busy for this Sunday than the past when we've had games. And I think it's because you don't want to watch the Giants, and I respect that. Half PPR, start one, Hurts or Darnold. I'm probably going to go Hurts here. What about you, Henry?
Yeah, I'm going Hurts also. He has 6 rushing touchdowns the last 3 weeks. So just the tush push is back, and that seems like an easy call with the Cowboys there.
Mm-hmm. Next question, Hunt or Eckler? Hunt seems to steer. Yeah, it's just like, do I need to go on? Or Hunt there? Like, I like Eckler, but I think Eckler's a jag at this point. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Like, even with Brian Robinson Jr. out, they're still playing Jeremy McNichols and some of those guys. So I think Eckler had his season high in touches last week, and it was still only 15 in the starting role, where Hunt's had some games with like 28, 29 touches.
Yeah. It's who has an offense that, well, actually the Commanders have a good offense. It's just Eckler's cooked, guys. Deadzo. DM Hawkeye guy. I know you love some Iowa. PPR league, Kincaid or Hawkinson? I appreciate that you've asked this question since you are an Iowa guy. Most time, your fandom, you're going to be like, well, Hawkinson's the dude. Where are you at here? Are you? I know Jeff was Kincaid. We had a similar question. I think Eileen Kincaid as well. What about you?
Yeah, I'm also going Kincaid just because, last week the Vikings were still playing Johnny Munt and some of those guys and rotating them in. So, I think with Keon Coleman, some of those guys out, I'm definitely going Dalton Kincaid there.
Cody Williams. Looks like are you harming someone? Are you being harmed? Full PPR. Hawk or Bucky and my flex. I'm going Bucky. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think Bucky also. Just again, like Hawkinson, this will be a second game back. I think he's fine. I do think he's kind of right on that tight end 10 to 12 range, but I'm going to go with the running back upside there.
Would you wait for Tyreek and pivot to? Yes, do that. Wait, you got good options. If he's
Mooney's
rolled
pretty
out,
good. Yeah,
yeah. I was about to say I should have read the rest of the question. Or just play Mooney or D Hop today instead.
That one's tough.
You got a good problem, buddy. Like I'm more on the side of just avoiding Tyreek and just playing Mooney or D Hop, regardless. I think that's where I'm at. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think I would just play Mooney here. I mean, Mooney's
Yeah.
been so consistently good.
So good. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to hear what Adam says. I guess in my mind, I have Tyreek just under 50% to play, but I don't really know for sure on that one. So, 50% chance it's Tyreek, let's say, and then 50% Mostert. I think I'd rather have 100% Mooney than 50-50 on those two.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Citron Physics. It's a wide receiver tight end position, no tight end only position. Thanks. Oh, this is what Jeff was saying. You're in one of those progressive leagues. Not up in here, partner. You play the tight end like a man. No, it's okay. As long as you're having fun. Or woman. You can play as a woman. It's gender neutral. Best depression or best depression. Desperation running back. Rodriguez, Wright, or McLaughlin. Right for upside, McLaughlin for floor. I don't want Rodriguez at all.
Tough.
I don't want. I know who I don't want.
Yeah, I guess I go McLaughlin for he should at least get 2-3 catches. But yeah, that is tough. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Hawkinson, Spears, or Shepard, non-PPR. Thanks. Another tough one because Shepard when he's been kind of the wide receiver 2, K-Dot, and wide receiver 1. If you really think about how the Bucs passing game has been with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out. But Spears is somebody, like he's not what we wanted, but he is somebody.
Yeah, I think in non-PPR, I'm going to go Spears there. Just he has more touchdown upside. I saw that Jalen McMillan's going to play today too. So that maybe hurt Shepard a little bit. Hey, Joey.
And Bethany Wright, Tristan is asking what players are excited to watch today. Joey, you start with this one.
Hi, I don't know who this Bethany Wright lady is, but she looks pretty nice.
Lucky lady.
Tristan is my daughter and Bethany is my wife. Tristan, I'm excited to watch a lot of players today. Excited to watch my Buccaneers. Hopefully Baker can pull a win out. We should have won against Kansas City. We should have gone for 2, so I'm excited to see Baker play today, honey. All right, nice. Thanks for watching. All right, and I don't know what's going on with there's 2 power surges, and it just keeps cutting my internet out. So if it happens again, I'm just not coming back. Am I bailing on Richardson for someone like Rush or Mack in a keeper league? Jagger, what do you think there?
I hate keeper league questions. I know, like they're just tough. I don't think I would, not for Rush or Mac. I'm not, but at the same time, like, what is I need a lot more context for it. Like, what are your other QBs? Is it super flex? Because I have a hard time dropping someone like Richardson for someone like Cooper Rush. Mac, I don't know. Dan, I'll divert to you.
Yeah, that's a tough one because we probably need more info. Like, I don't think Richardson's going to, but you know what? Actually, maybe Richardson does get back in there this year. But long term, it's for sure Richardson. Neither of those other guys are going to be starting next year. So I guess if you're super desperate and need a starter this year, then maybe Rusher Mack. But I've not given up on Richardson.
Perfect. I think the most surprising development of this entire show today. Hey, do y'all mind talking a little quieter, please? I'm listening from church this morning. JB's grandmama, you going to church? That surprises me. Sweating his grits off, by the way.
Sweating my grits off is hilarious. I love it.
We will not talk quieter. I'm glad you're going to church, but he didn't also say what kind of church he's going to. So I think that's going to be the next part of the joke that he drops on us.
Yeah.
Sam, this is a hard one.
Is this your first time meeting JB's grandmama?
Dan,
yeah.
Your first time?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't.
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year they had a nice little gimmick where they would try to get me to say dirty stuff on the show, and it worked a few times. So
last week he got us good.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Sometimes we have to Google after the show when he gets jokes.
Like, no, I shouldn't have said that. Oh gosh. Sam, this is a hard one for me, but Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold? Dan, which one of those quarterbacks are we going with?
I'm going Purdy. He's got a great matchup. He's been running the ball more.
Yeah, that avatar wasn't enough. Okay. 3 up, 3 down. Mahomes or Rodgers? Jagger, which one?
Mahomes by a lot.
Mahomes. There was a name of the day, and when the power went out, I'll have to go back and look for it. But I had a good little laugh about the name that was coming up, and then I got cut out. Pretty sad about that. Jeff Bolton here again. Happy about the Tracy TD. Yeah, I saw it happen. That was pretty great. Just traded McBride and Warren for Tracy and Njoku this morning. And started Tracy, so he's pleased. So good to see you.
Heck
there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, good job. Toby in here. If Tyreek can't go, which hideous waiver wire option to play in my flex? Robinson's not available. So Malik Washington, OBJ, Tutu, or Jalen Wright. Full PPR. I think Jeff would have said Jalen Wright. Dan, what do you say?
Yeah, I'd probably go Jalen Wright also.
Mm-hmm. All right. Pick flex among Douglas, Tolbert, and Jalen McMillan. Jagger?
If it's PPR especially, I'm going to Mario Douglas.
Okay. K-Trib's in here. That picture is hard. Look at that. Full PPR. Need one for flex play. Najee versus Washington, Ridley versus the Chargers, or Addison versus Jacksonville. Thanks, guys. Love the show and appreciate the help. We appreciate you being here.
I'm thinking Najee there is a home favorite. Just most touchdown upside for sure. And
are you?
I don't know. Do we really trust Will Levis?
No.
Just I know Ridley's getting targets, but now that Levis is back, like it's bad when like Mason Rudolph is like a big boon for your fantasy prospects.
Yeah. OSU legend.
Call Saul in here. Morning football guys need to know JD5 or Stafford for quarterback.
You know that answer. It's Daniels.
All right. And it says thanks. I always like it when they say thank you. It's just common courtesy. Mark Johns. Hello guys. PPR. Who to start? Hawkinson, Etienne, or Adunze? Thank you. Damn.
I think Adunze, I think the Bears have finally learned that Adunze might be their best wide receiver. So let's just hope that continues.
Yeah, I agree. We talked about that a little bit with Christian Gonzalez is probably going to be on DJ Moore. So I do think it sets up as a pretty good week for Adunze.
This person named their name after Dune Part 2's chances at the Oscars this year. Oscar 0. Greetings, PPR Cups. Just kidding. I love Dune Part 2. McLaurin or BTJ? Pick one, please. Jagger.
Oh, I have to go to my rankings for this, but I lean McLaurin pretty, I think. McLaurin's my wide receiver 16. So
perfect. All right. We're going to give one more to Dan before he heads out there today. Jennings or Addison in full PPR?
I'm going to go Addison. I do think Jennings is a solid play this week, but they just Pearsall's involved. You have, McCaffrey's going to probably take 8 or 10 targets from all those guys too, so they're all going to lose a couple. So I'm going to go Addison.
All right.
I don't have an outro nearly as good as Jeff's. Like he leaves. That's a tough leave.
well, you know what? He's on here every week and he practices it.
He's
Like,
Yes.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
so don't feel
That's
bad.
his good.
But like,
It's his good night and good luck. Essentially, he's got
Yeah.
that like down.
yeah, he actually has it like on a screen, so he doesn't.
He's
mess
got it all
up. He
written
still
out.
reads
He
it off.
practices it
Yeah.
in his mirror in the morning.
Well, Dan, any news, anything you'd like to part to the audience today before you head out?
No, I'm just hoping for a big Saquon Barkley day.
That'd
So,
be nice.
that'd be nice.
Cool.
All right, guys.
Well,
Thanks
appreciate
a lot.
having your. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I missed time with you. I
You're
hate
good.
that.
You always
right.
leave on the best faces we were talking about. It's always kind of
I'm always.
whenever,
I get to
whenever
go
you
back to
pause.
live, so.
Yeah.
Like-
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye. All right. So let's kick him off. Adam, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm muted.
Uh-oh.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Oh,
We're
good.
doing better now that we can hear your sultry voice.
Perfect.
Awesome. So everything going good this weekend?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Pretty relaxed weekend. Watched some college football yesterday, and now
Okay.
ready for some real football.
Excellent. All right, we're gonna hop on over and take a look at some of these injuries. Going to recap them now that you're here because you're the man with the plan. Let's talk about some guys out today: Keon Coleman, Michelle Pittman Jr., Brian Robinson Jr. Now, Brian Robinson Jr. has missed 2 games in a row. What's going on there with Brian Robinson Jr.?
Yeah, I mean it's a hamstring injury. Not uncommon for NFL running backs to miss multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. So nothing I would read into too much right now. Expected return to play timeline is around 2 to 3 weeks, so he's still on that trajectory. But yeah, that's the unfortunate part of fantasy football is all these injuries, especially piling up at this time of the year.
Okay, and I wanted to. Chris Olave's got the concussion. He's going to be out. How much longer are we looking at for him, possibly?
So they put him on IR, and he has potential to miss the rest of the season based on what they're telling us out of New Orleans. A lot of it probably depends on how the Saints season plays out. I know they're not doing too well, so that could be a season-ending injury for Chris Olave potentially.
Okay. Speaking of season-ending injuries, 2 quarterbacks. He's not on the graphic, but Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott look like they both might be missing the rest of the season. Looking at both of those guys, like, are we expecting them just to be right back where they were next year, or might there be a little bit of a lag?
I think both. It sounds like Dak Prescott is getting surgery. His return to play timeline, he could be ready for the start of next season. It's a tougher injury that he's dealing with that hamstring avulsion, which is essentially your hamstring muscle is pulled off the bone. That doesn't sound great because it isn't great. It's definitely a difficult injury, but looking at long term, I don't expect it to be something that's terribly limiting for him. Trevor Lawrence, we haven't gotten a confirmation that he is 100% done, but he's very likely done, dealing with an AC joint separation in his non-throwing shoulder. The risk with that is anytime you're tackled, and have any type of hard contact to that shoulder, the risk of making it worse or separating it farther or re-injuring it goes up. I think that's basically what they're taking into consideration for Trevor Lawrence. If it was like a minor AC joint sprain, this is something he could play through because it's on his non-throwing shoulder. But because we're dealing with a high degree of separation here, it looks like they're considering surgery. I think he's likely done for the year, but we haven't got confirmation on that.
Okay. I mean, questionable today. And if I had some power outages, so I have not gotten the confirmation on these. Are any of these guys out today? Amari Cooper, Drake London.
Drake London's healthy.
Drake London's healthy. Amari Cooper looks like he's out. They're expecting Brian Thomas Jr. to play. Nico Collins, I think, is a true game time decision. I've projected him to play just based on when the Texans. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I have projected him not to play. He only got in a limited practice towards the end of this week. And if you look at trends, especially this year, typically those players end up sitting out. Tyreek Hill, game time decision. If you follow him on social media, it seems like he's going to play. He made the flight, the trip for Miami. He was talking about playing, wrist injuries. We've seen a lot of NFL wide receivers miss games with wrist injuries. So this is not a data-driven decision in terms of me thinking that Tyreek Hill is going to play. It's purely speculation, but just kind of reading the tea leaves. And then one more injury as this game's going on. They're talking about Malik Neighbors being evaluated for another concussion. We've seen players that have sustained multiple concussions in season miss multiple weeks. Small sample size on average. NFL wide receivers that sustain another concussion go on to miss another 2 to 3 weeks. So something to monitor if that is a confirmed concussion for Malik Neighbors. I know they were evaluating him in game.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I have a question for Adam.
Mm-hmm.
1, what is a hip pointer? 2, should we expect that to affect Drake London at all? Asking for a friend.
For sure. Hip pointer is just a fancy word for a deep bruise right off that hip bone. They're very painful. Okay. They're very painful, but typically they don't result in a high re-injury rate. I expect Drake London to be heavily medicated before the game to help him manage that pain. Because he is a physical, and because he is a tall, high contested catch wide receiver, kind of similar to how he injured his hip on the first place. I think there is a little bit of risk, but I would be playing him. I'm not factoring that into my decisions in terms of start sit.
Noted.
Perfect. All right, let's hop over to see who some players are expected to play today. Christian McCaffrey, he's back. Adam, how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
Yeah, you should be.
I think if you have Christian McCaffrey, you're playing him. I mean, they talked about him being limited snaps. You've waited this long, you're playing Christian McCaffrey.
Perfect. Tank Dell expected to play as well as Baker Mayfield, CeeDee Lamb, and Deebo Samuel, all expected to be out there. How about that? And then, from earlier, we talked about that we do know Trevor Lawrence is out today. So wouldn't be expecting to play if he's declared out. So this graphic holds up strong. And then kudos to you, Adam, basically given the breakdown that Jonathan Brooks was probably not going to start today in your article. So kudos to you on that. Any other players we didn't cover today that we should be going over?
No, I mean, since we talked about Jonathan Brooks, and I want to get to these start-sit questions here, there's obviously a lot of concern about Jonathan Brooks. So I think some people are officially hitting the panic button. I mean, I really I didn't factor him not playing the decision to kind of avoid him in drafts, but like I wanted to mention this isn't uncommon. I think we've been spoiled by the 9 to 10 month recovery timelines following players coming off an ACL tear. Average return to play timeline in terms of weeks for running backs from when they have surgery to when they hit the NFL field. A lot of this depends on when they had the injury and when the following season started. That factors into some of this, but average time is about 45 weeks. Currently, Jonathan Brooks, I did some crude math before I came on here, is about 52 weeks, but we look at some recent examples. Saquon Barkley, 45 weeks. Rashad Penny, 53 weeks. J.K. Dobbins, 54 weeks. Gus Edwards, 59 weeks. Javonte Williams, 49 weeks. I don't think this is an uncommon timeline. I'm not hitting the panic button. In terms of him playing this year, I'm hitting the panic button in terms of what it potentially looks like based on how Chuba Hubbard's been factoring in. But the fact that they activated Jonathan Brooks, I think he does play at some point this year. But this is always the risk about drafting a player coming off a major injury the year before.
All right. Let's get into these starts and set questions. There we go. It's Deuce in here. Tua or May? Adam, who is starting a quarterback?
I think Drake May's been hot, so I understand wanting to go that direction. If you don't want to wait to find out the Tyreek Hill news, because I think that would definitely factor into what Tua looks like, I'd be okay playing Drake May.
Okay. Theo Darling, I like that name. Trey Tyreek and a late fourth for Terry McLaurin, and Deontay Johnson. Jagger, you making this trade?
Yes.
Jagger's nodding yes. Stu's asked a question twice. Put the name on the board, Jagger. Put a check
You're
next
on
to the
notice. You're on
Yep.
notice. You got it 3 times, Stu.
name.
Tap the
3
sign.
times?
Yeah. As a reminder, guys, we put them in order. Putting your comment in multiple times, all that does is slow Joey down because he has to sift through more.
Joey doesn't need anything else to slow him down. He's already working with a limp today. All right, Stafford or May? Adam, where are you going there? Dynasty PPR.
I think I'm going. Well, I'm probably going to go Matthew Stafford. Looking at that matchup, yeah, I would go with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I don't think it depends on how your waivers work in your league is, but I'd have a hard time just dropping Stafford because, May rushes, that offensive line isn't good. I'm not playing the whole injury game or anything like that, but the Patriots have no reason to play May or do anything. So if he gets a slight ding, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull him out, so, and plus they're just a bad offense. I don't know what the rest of their matchups look like, but Stafford could have more juicy ones. And he's only just had both of his weapons for 2 games.
All right. Ross in here. Good morning, football guys. Full PPR. Rashad White or TJ Hawkinson in the flex? Jagger.
Rashad White.
Okay. Justin Wheat. Hey, where's Waffles been? This just reminded me. I'm going to do a wellness check on Waffles.
Did we let Waffles down or something? Go check
know.
on Waffles. Go find him, Joey.
Yeah, I'll go find him. I'll search all the breakfast aisles till I find him. Nico Collins or Montgomery at the flex. So it looks like Nico, Adam's saying Nico might not start. So would you go Dave Montgomery to be safe, Adam?
I would, yeah. I'm looking right now to see if we've gotten any Nico Collins updates because we did get that Tank Dell was expected to be active, but the last I saw, Nico Collins was a true game time decision, and just based on practice reports, I don't feel great about him playing this week.
All right, don't leave. I'm not going to. I'm going to try not to again. All right, Joe Perry, seeing way more questions than likes here. Come on, guys, get it together. Yeah, get it together, people.
Thank you, Joe.
I didn't mean to yell right as JB's grandmama had a question because he's in church. We know this. And here's my theory now. JB's grandmama has found the Lord and therefore has cleaned it up and is not working blue this year. Because there's some jokes down here and they're all pretty clean. So I can say those. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So CMC is playing. Yes, he is. Get excited. Mark Johns. Hello, guys. PPR. Who to start? Hawkinson, Etienne, or Adunze? Jagger. Pick one of those strapping gentlemen to put in your lineup.
Adunze for me.
Okay. JB's grandmama. Trevor Lawrence is downgraded to out. BHD, bad hair day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna Google BHD and it's gonna be something real nasty. That's what's gonna. I just said it on the show. PPR, D Hop, Pickens, Brian Thomas Jr. or McBride in the flex. Adam, pick one. Half PPR.
Oh man, I really want to pick DeAndre Hopkins after last week. But I also, if Trevor Lawrence was playing, this would be pretty easy. I would pick Brian Thomas Jr. But I think I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. Here's the name from earlier that I saw that I liked. The Tommy Llama. That's good. It's a good one. Full PPR, McMillan or Eckler? Jagger.
Ooh, man. Eckler.
I can make this. Yeah, I was going to say I can make this easy. I don't even think McMillan's going to play.
Okay.
He's been dealing with a kind of recurrent hamstring injury. He was a game time decision last week, but I don't know. His practice reports this week were not great. They didn't seem to indicate that he was particularly close to playing last Monday. So I'd be going with the sure thing in Eckler.
I've mentioned this before. One of the hardest things for me in fantasy is shaking a week one performance. And the Bucks, passing offense looked great in week one, and Jalen McMillan got a touchdown. And it's been so hard for me to shake that touchdown from my mind. So I think fantasy players might be having a hard time shaking that too. Jeff Bolt, touchdown Hubbard. All right. Woo. Yep. A trade offer Joe Perry got. I get Herbert and Brian Robinson Jr. He gets Cousins and Uncle Rico. Adam, what do you think about that trade?
I would do that because I think you're going to get her upgrade at running back. I do not anticipate this to be a long-term injury for Brian Robinson Jr. So if you can buy that injury dip, I'd be okay with this trade.
All right, Michael saying you guys rock. Hey, you rock, Michael. Hope you and Jeff win this week. Dana, welcome in. Hi, guys. Should I start Mayfield or Mahomes? Jagger?
Mayfield for me.
Okay. And then do you feel safe starting Brian Thomas Jr. or should I pick up Juwan Jennings? So, Adam, Juwan Jennings or Brian Thomas Jr. this week?
I'm playing Brian Thomas Jr. I know it's Mac Jones. I haven't really seen a good Mac Jones in a long time, but I mean, Deebo Samuel is expected to play. Kittle's back. Christian McCaffrey is going to be added into the fold. The only time we saw Juwan Jennings actually play good is when he was like the last man standing. So I'm going to play Brian Thomas Jr. in this situation.
Perfect. Dana, thanks for being here with us today. And Oscar, Mostert or Bucky Irving? Jagger.
Mostert for ceiling, Irving for floor. I don't know what your matchup looks like. If you played against Chase, put in Mostert. If you didn't, or you at least not chasing points, put in Irving.
No, I will go in order of the questions, but I have some breaking news. Waffles is here. He's with us.
Okay, we're good. We're safe.
Yeah, we're good. We're safe. Yeah. Dane, Javonte or Jalen Warren, PPR flex. Possible good game script for Warren. Yeah. Who was it? Dan mentioning the props for Jalen Warren were pretty high. So Adam, where are we looking at with Javonte or Jalen Warren in PPR?
I think I'm still going to go with Javonte, and it's mostly because Jalen Warren, we haven't seen much this season. I'd be really wary putting Jalen Warren into my lineups. So I'm going to go with Javonte.
All right. And Andy and Renee Nelson, I love this because, a couple that plays fantasy together, the marriages are strong. The statistics show they never get divorced. I made that up. Dobbins versus Tennessee or Shakir versus Indianapolis? Jagger.
It's Shakir for me.
Okay. And thoughts how effective Debo will be versus Tampa Bay? I assume you meant to say BS Tampa Bay because their secondary is BS this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Debo's going to be just fine today. Mark, I don't know if you put this one in here or not.
I think his did. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've answered this.
I'm getting aboard.
Yeah. It's like tap the sign. It's but in case we didn't, Adunze for me. And then if you got a lot of tight ends, buddy. I don't like who you starting at tight end is my question.
I would threaten to get a slide with names and have Dylan make one, but then people will do it just to get their name on the show, which listen, I applaud you, but I don't know. I have to destroy that. Guys, let's clap the one. My favorite, Waffles with his picture of pancakes. Hello, PPR, pick 2, Cup, Tyreek, and Downs. Waffles, I'm so excited to see her. I'm going to answer this for you. It's going to be Cup and Downs for me. I think you've got 2 great options, and you can just avoid the whole Tyreek Hill situation. Do that. And I'm expecting a lot from Josh Downs today. So, yeah. Joe Perry, Brian Thomas Jr., Devontae Adams, D-Hop, or Waddle with a penguin. Thank you for the emoji. We love emojis.
I know I don't want Devontae.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I already picked DeAndre Hopkins over Brian Thomas Jr., and I'm definitely going to pick both those guys over Waddle. So I'm down to those 2. I think I'm going to lean D-Hop, though.
Mm-hmm. Insert 5 in here saying, whoa, calm down on the Florida trash talk.
No, I'm just saying that you guys are recovering from internet from a hurricane is what I meant. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
they're
laying new lines. I didn't know if this was talk about my Florida State trash and the trash of Tallahassee, Florida. If that's the case, no, I will not calm down on it. I will always be strong on my talk of Florida State.
That's a Joey thing.
Yeah, that's a strictly Joey thing. Darren Peters, welcome in here. Is Collins going to play?
Keep praying. Let's keep them hands together.
right, terminal sarcasm. Ray or Shepherd with a Labrador.
Ew. Oh, Shepherd for me.
All right. Laporta versus Houston or Marvin Harrison Jr. versus the Jets. Two of Joey's most drafted players, both struggling this year. Adam, where are we going?
He's definitely got the worst matchup, but I think I would play Marvin Harrison Jr. and just pray that he gets a touchdown because I mean he's definitely been more targeted in the red zone than Laporta has been this year. Laporta's only got 2 touchdowns on the season, so I'd be praying for a touchdown. I'd play Marvin Harrison.
Jeff going through it in real time. New York Giants are so frustrating. You have a stud wide receiver like Neighbors, never passed on the ball, 2 receptions for 12, and now he's hurt. Ugh. Hopefully I read that correctly.
This is a safe space to do that, Jeff. We're here with you.
You can do as much as you want. Look at the Hulk. He's hulking out here with his question. Nico or Brian Thomas Jr.? Adam.
I mean, if I knew Nico was active, I'd be playing Nico Collins. But if you're asking me right now and I haven't seen an update on Nico Collins, I'm going to go with Brian Thomas.
Okay. Mark, I see that question in there a third time. Just big trouble. Brian Thomas Jr., Marvin Harrison Jr., Javonte, or Bucky Irving? Jagger, pick one in PPR flex.
MHJ. I'm not down that bad. That's the one that I want. Brian Thomas Jr., like I said, we don't really know what that offense looks like, and everything else is pretty low upside for PPR. I'm sorry, I'm enamored. I just watched Bryce Young throw a 14-yard out to the opposite from the opposite hash, and that's a really good throw. So
nice. Who caught the pass?
Xavier Legette, baby. So.
Ooh, he's turned into a nice little draft day little purchase there.
Mm-hmm.
And then D-Hop, Waddle, Brian Thomas Jr., Shakir, or Keenan Allen to you, Adam. Need 2 of them in PPR.
I would probably. I'm really tempted to take Shakir here with Coleman and Amari Cooper out. So I think I would play him. And then, I mean, I've said D-Hop. We've gotten a lot of D-Hop, Brian Thomas Jr. things. I mean, I don't know if Jagger has different thoughts, if he would rather pivot to Brian Thomas, but I'd still go D-Hop, I think, in that situation.
I'm going D-Hop. I actually have them back to back, and I just like it comes to a matter of fact that I know D-Hop's healthy and has Patrick Mahomes. Brian Thomas Jr. is not 100% healthy and has Mac Jones. And there's no math involved, guys. It's just intuition.
And I know it was Tampa Bay the Chiefs played on Monday, but man, DeAndre Hopkins, the tears he had in that post-game interview were real. Yeah. Like I think he's truly happy to be there, and I don't think that's the last good game he has there in Kansas City this year. So I'd be starting D-Hop a lot.
I'm eating crow.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes we got to eat that. The Tommy Llama. Do I wait for Tyreek Hill and pivot to one of the following available? And this is the drizzly poops here. Listen to these names. Tyler Johnson, Xavier Smith, Whittington, Estridge. I just pulled his card from a pack yesterday from a 2021 pack, and I forgot all about him. And I was like, oh, my God, that guy. Or Malik Washington.
You want none of that.
I would rather take a 0.
All your other options are better.
Yes, Jamison Williams or Xavier Worthy and bench Tyreek. So would you guys bench Tyreek for either of those 2 guys?
I probably wouldn't, and I would feel I'm gonna feel really bad if Tyreek Hill doesn't play because it's a late game. I just feel like he is, based on again kind of him traveling with the team. It is risky though. I will acknowledge it's risky, especially like I said with a lot of the wrist injuries causing wide receivers to miss multiple weeks that we've seen this year. But I think he plays, and I would risk it there.
Yeah, Tommy, I think what you can do. Go ahead, Jagger.
Is this Jamison Williams? Who's Jay Williamson? Is it Jamison Williams?
Yeah, I think it's Jamison Williams. I would assume. Yeah. Tommy, what I think you can do is just if you've got a bench player you can drop, go grab Tyler Johnson. Okay. And then roll with Tyreek Hill. And if worst thing happens and Tyreek does sit, you can move in Tyler Johnson and maybe you get 5 to 10 points out of him. I think you can do that. but I'm not making that decision to start him. Mark Johns, hello guys. PPR Taysom Hill or Romadunze. Thank you. And go Lions. Mark Johns is a Lions fan. Jagger, pick one.
A Dunze for me.
Okay. And we got about 5 minutes left on the show. The avatar threw me off. So we're going to try to get the rest of these as quick as we can. Happy PR, Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore, or Rico Dowdle. Adam.
DJ Moore.
All right. And Jeff saying that Neighbors was going back on the field at the end of the drive. So
cool. That's good.
Hopefully that's good news. And then Jagger, Tucker Craft, or TJ Hawkinson, rest of the season.
Craft.
Okay. Jack, I'm 4-5, and all my receivers are on bye. Reed,
Oh,
Metcalf,
boy.
I need a win, so I just traded Jaden Reed for Jalen Waddle. Did I goof? Jagger, did you goof?
Dude. No, dude. Like, I get you're 4-5 and you're fighting for a playoff spot. Like, you did what you had to. As long as this is redraft, then this is fine to make sacrifices like this. I get the chess piece where you're just trying to get a win.
We have 2 Jacks on that watch our show.
You're not Pascal. You'll never replace him. So we'll call you Jackie Boy. So.
Mm-hmm. Huber injury didn't look good. Pick up Brooks if you can. Did Chuba Hubbard get injured?
I guess I missed that one. Yeah. Jeff is replacing Mr. Scampers. You got to step it up, dude. This is like Rappaport versus Schefter here.
Guys, I think it's come to the time we have to have the hard decision that we might need to put Mr. Scampers down. It's like it happens, you know.
Yeah.
My theater teacher in high school once said that the only reason to ever have a pet is to teach your children about death. So maybe that's why Scampers is here, to teach our audience about death. So it could happen.
I love you skip past going like, you don't teach your kids about responsibility. It's just about death.
All right. A troubled mind, which Joey might have this morning. Morning, guys. Happy PR. Superflex. So yeah, Trevor Lawrence and Geno are on bye. So pick 3: Shakir, McConkey, Downs, McBride. Bench one of those, Adam. Between Shakir and McConkey, Downs, McBride.
I'm gonna bench. I don't like it, but I'm gonna bench Joshua Downs, I think.
I get it though, because you think about McConkey and Downs have they're similar players and profiles, especially for fantasy. And one of those guys has Herbert and the other one has Flacco. So it actually makes a lot of sense.
All right. And JB's grandmama wants us to know that I'm a child of Jesus. Jesus Sanchez, my mom's karate teacher. Hi-oh! There we go. All right. Tip. Adam, we'll go to you on this. What are your thoughts on CMC? Do you think this is a load management thing for the 49ers are doing?
Probably, but here's the thing. Like, they've been so cautious with Christian McCaffrey all the way up to this point. He's missed the first 9 weeks of the season. He basically sat out the second half or all of the preseason. I don't think he would be back unless he was 100%. Like, they slow played this for such a long period of time. Maybe they limit some of his touches in between the 20s, but it feels like the high value touches, especially in the red zone, that's going to be Christian McCaffrey's. So that's why I'm comfortable playing him.
All right, Eric with a lightsaber. 12 team, half PPR. Hawkinson or Laporta? Jagger.
Laporta, because I just know that he's healthy. So
Cousins over Tua, Adam?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And Dana thanks us. Thank you, Dana. It looks like you're at the theater. I enjoy the theater. If you ever
want
to talk Broadway, yeah, I'd like to know. Go see Hadestown. It's great. All right. McMillan is active. Yes, he is.
Thank you.
That's good to know.
Full PPR. Mooney or Dell? Oof. Jagger,
Moondog for me. It's Mooney. I'm off Dell.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to be our time today. If you didn't get your question answered, I've got some good news. Dan is over in our Discord answering all of your questions in the Sunday morning AMA. So get over there, get those questions answered. Adam, we've come to the time. Do you have any messages for the audience today? Just to leave them some words.
Nope. Just make sure, you guys are subscribing to Football Guys. We'll have the injury column coming out Monday, which unfortunately If it's this week's like any other week, there's going to be a lot of injuries, and we'll have to talk about them. So check that out on Monday, and I'll see you guys in a week.
Well, I hate the injuries. I'm glad they happened because it would mean you don't get to be here. So I'm glad you're here. If we could find another reason for you to be here, maybe we do that. But whatever. Wait, you're like a physical therapist, right? Like what is the official title?
Physical therapist, yeah.
It's a physical therapist. Okay.
Yep.
You're going to be in Vegas, right?
Yes.
I got this hip pointer that I want you to take a look at. Okay.
I was going to say, do you want me to have some people rough you up before we get to Vegas?
No.
I want the opposite, man. Like, I'm actually thinking that, like, maybe I should go see a chiropractor, get a massage, and I want to go to a bookstore. I'm just like an old person now. Like, everyone's like, I'm going to go play golf at 5 a.m. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to put in effort.
I got a massage like one time. It was great. I really enjoyed it. I don't know why I've never been back. They're kind of expensive.
Let's get a throuples massage. We'll get a discount.
all I got to say.
All the three of us, yeah. Yeah.
All I gotta say,
my
is
wife wanted to get a couple.
JB's grandma doesn't have any more things to comment in after this, because I could see that going astray after all this massage talk that we've been throwing around.
All right, let's get out before they have a chance.
Everybody, thank you so much for being here with us. If you enjoy our shenanigans, make sure to like and subscribe. We're here every Sunday during the season answering all your starts and sits. Any questions over at the Discord? Thank you, as always, so much, and we will see you next week.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.